I'm Jake Rowdink, and this is my story. I grew up in a Christian home, and it was a great blessing to be able to go to church and learn about Jesus as a young child. However, my story begins when I was about 3 years old. My mother passed away from pancreatic cancer, so I never really knew her. However, as a family, we grew closer together through that time, and my dad did an excellent job of raising me and my two older sisters on my own. However, when I was in 4th grade, my father was in a 10-car pileup on the highway on a foggy morning headed to work that resulted in his death. A lot of people think of that time, how hard that must have been, and what a terrible tragedy that was, and it certainly was. However, I saw God's love outpour onto me and my sisters and my whole family through that time. As a result, I became a lot closer with my aunt and uncle that became my guardians, as well as my grandfather and some of my cousins and other men in my life. Going into middle school and high school, I always struggled with the idea of acceptance and just wanted to be accepted by people and would do about whatever it took to get accepted. It was around that time where I really started searching for what the meaning of life was and if Jesus could really forgive my sins that I had done through trying to become accepted. Once I came to college and got involved with this crew, I really was able to experience the gospel on a deeper level and come to understand what forgiveness really meant. I began to realize how blessed I truly was and what God had done through me. And it's because of that that makes me want to live for Christ. See, I realize I'm not able to be perfect on my own and be accepted, and that I already am accepted by Christ. And that was very freeing and made me realize God's love for us, that no matter what I did, how hard I tried to get to Christ, I wouldn't be able to. It was because Christ lived a perfect life and died for me that I was able to live freely. Going back to the blessings in my life, I realized the influences that were on me and felt incredibly blessed by them. Growing up, after the age of 10, I never had my earthly father on here. I began to realize the other men that were in my life that were blessings from God that I mentioned earlier, and grew closer to my Heavenly Father, knowing that He always provides for us. Since accepting and rededicating my life to Christ, I'm not saying my life has been perfect and I've always been on cloud 9. However, I've been able to experience joy that only comes from Christ. I still struggle with a lot of the same sins and issues of being accepted by people. However, I always can go back to the truth that God has already accepted me and I'm able to live for Him. Looking back, I am so thankful for the experiences that God has, provided for me, and feel so blessed because of that. And it is because of His undeserved grace that someday I will be able to see my parents again. A verse that I always cling to is 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7. It was a memory verse for me during the time when my father passed away. And it goes, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's almighty hand. Cast your cares on God, because He cares for you." It's a verse that I like to live by and always look to in times of trouble, because I know that God is always there for us, and He will never leave us. I'm Jake Rowdink, and I testify.